Hi, loves. It's been a minute. I was in the process of a lot of life shifts and just settled into a new place. So thank you for your patience as I jump back into collective readings. Today we're going to do the usual. I'm going to roll the astro dice and then we will just see what messages are coming through. By the way, I am offering personal readings, so if you're in need of some support as we move through this eclipse window and all of this collective chaos and heartbreak that we're moving through, I'm absolutely here to support you, and you can find the link to do so in my bio and also in the description of this video. So I offer tarot readings, astrology readings, Akashic Records readings. I hope you're doing okay. So our theme today is the 5th house, Jupiter, and Capricorn. So with the 5th house, we're often looking at play. What I'm feeling is that there is maybe a romance that you have in mind. And I did get a couple cards that dropped out of the deck while I was shuffling earlier that kind of led me to believe this might be a love reading. With Jupiter, it feels like there is a sense of expansion and potentially hope. And then with Capricorn, we might be questioning our commitments or considering a commitment, or maybe commitment is on the table. So let's get a little bit more information from the cards. I'll start with 3 cards. That's too many. Just one more card, please. Okay. Great. So we have the High Priestess, the 3 of Swords, and the King of Wands in reverse. So let's start with the HP. The High Priestess is a very, very, very intuitive card. And the sense that I'm getting here is that you may be going through a period where you feel like your psychic gifts are being activated, or maybe your intuition is just louder than usual. This could be due to heartbreak. I hear for some of you that you may have gone through a recent breakup, or maybe it's not recent, maybe it's distant in the past, but something that really, kind of broke you open, broke you down, and then broke you open. And I think through that process of heartbreak and healing, you actually tapped into your intuitive gifts in a really big way. And so this was kind of like the silver lining throughout this experience, is that it really showed you your own power. And with the King of Wands in reverse, it could be that this is representing someone who you were in a relationship with in the past, who could have been cruel, who could have been arrogant, who could have been really sort of maybe controlling, dominating, maybe even abusive in some cases. This could, if not an ex-partner, this could represent potentially like a parent or a caregiver who embodied these energies and who has impacted your romantic relationships in a big way because of just the residual pain that you've held within you from that relationship. But for most of you, this does feel like a romantic situation. And again, I'm getting the sense that you've been through a lot of healing around this 3 of Swords experience, but I think that it's still lingering and probably causing trust issues. So let's get a little bit more information about each of these cards. Can I get a clarifier for the High Priestess, please? For the 3 of Swords, and for the King of Wands reversed. Okay. Interesting. So I'll come back to that. I'm not going to take that card, but they're wanting to like show me so many cards for the King of Wands reversed. Yeah, so I see the 2 of Cups reversed coming up on the cards that I dropped. I do have the Sun and I have the 10 of Cups coming up to clarify the King of Wands. So it could be that this was someone who you really envisioned a future with. Yeah, this is a love reading, no question about it. To clarify the High Priestess, we have the Hermit. So I think that for many of you, you've been in a phase of solitude, going inward, trying to heal, trying to reclaim the power that maybe you gave away or felt that you lost or outsourced in this relationship. For the Three of Swords, we have the Lovers, and so this was definitely a heartbreak that occurred in some type of partnership, or at least in some type of romantic relationship. And then the King of Wands reversed, again, we have the Ten of Cups coming up. So I feel for a lot of you that this may have been someone that you really imagined you maybe saw a future with this person. Maybe you wanted to have a family with this person. Maybe you did or do have a family with this person, children, home, pets, like whatever the case is. It feels like the intention or the hope was to build a life with this person. And I think that it's interesting because if you look at I'm going to cover this because we have some nudity on it, but if you look at the face of the Hermit and then the face of the Angel in the Lovers, they're looking in the same direction and they have kind of a similar, like their head is tilted at the same angle. There's very similar features here. And the way that the cards are positioned, those two are looking away from the Ten of Cups. So it feels like you had to turn away from what was a perceived Ten of Cups. And I add quotes and say perceived because I think that a lot of this was built on what you hoped this person, who you hoped this person was, or who you wanted them to be, as opposed to maybe who they actually were. And that may have taken some time for you to kind of understand that and accept that. You may have really kind of chosen to see the best in this person. And I think that over time that really broke down in a big way. So what type of insight do they need about this situation? What insight do they need about this situation? Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups reversed, and the Ten of Wands. With the Queen of Pentacles, again, I have these three columns of cards. What it feels like is happening here is there's you over here, High Priestess, Lovers, Queen of Pentacles. Those cards are representing your energy. Then in the center, oh, I'm sorry, I meant High Priestess, Hermit. Did I say that already? Queen of Pentacles. And then in the center, we have like this connection. We have the Three of Swords, the heartbreak that occurred between you two. We have the Lovers representing the relationship. And then we have the Seven of Cups reversed, which is, again, just affirming kind of what I already said about this being rooted in illusion to some degree. Sort of hoping for the best, but getting lost in the fantasy of what could be instead of staying rooted in reality. And then over here, we have more of like the representation of your partner, or maybe what you thought your partner was or who you thought they were. King of Wands reversed, Ten of Cups, and then the Ten of Wands represents a lot of struggle. Maybe this is someone who was highly stressed. Maybe this is someone who was a workaholic or who was really burdened by responsibility. And it's possible that because we have, again, wands and wands. And so it's possible that they took a lot of their stress out on you and that you had to bear the burden of, the consequences of their choices and the way that they were living their life. And it came back to kind of land really hard on your shoulders, unfortunately, and probably brought that Ten of Cups to ruin. I feel in a big way. Of course, like it takes two to tango, and every relationship is ideally a cooperative experience where we're both kind of co-creating together. But what I feel here is that this person's burdens really weighed heavily on you. And so we go, in your case, moving from the High Priestess to the Hermit to the Queen of Pentacles. And so I feel that your intuition helped you exit this situation. And if you haven't already left this situation, I do feel that you're going to. And I feel that that's absolutely the best choice for you, and that you will find a lot of stability and a lot of self-love and power and empowerment on the other side of this relationship. But it will require you going inward. And if you have already gone inward and you've already made that choice, I think that you're stepping out of hermitude and out of solitude into this Queen of Pentacles energy, where you really feel like you sort of, you run shit. Like you are a powerhouse, you're grounded, you're practical, you're sensual. This Queen of Pentacles is very, like, the Queen of Pentacles demands respect. The Queen of Pentacles earns respect just because of the way that they move in life, the way that they carry themselves with grace, with self-respect, with groundedness. There's earth wisdom, there is like practical wisdom, and also this ability to really hold space and to create safe spaces. Like if you think about an earth queen, that's what the Queen of Pentacles is, someone who really understands sort of the language of the earth itself. And so I think that this is something that has been healing for you. I'm hearing herbalism might be significant. I'm hearing that just in general, kind of connection to nature is a really healing thing for you in particular. And you might have heavy earth placements. Let me just call out some of the signs we have here. We have Cancer, Virgo, Capricorn, you could say Taurus as well, Gemini, and Sagittarius, but you could also say Aries and Leo. And so I think you're coming back to yourself. And I really have a very positive feeling about this next chapter of your life for you, because I think that as you set down the illusions that you were having to upkeep in this relationship, it freed you of the burden that you sort of inherited from this person too. And when you were able to look at reality and say, like, you know what, I can't entertain this illusion anymore, I have to just kind of see it for what it is and accept that, you reclaimed your power by making that choice. And the fact that the fifth house, Jupiter and Capricorn are coming up here, I think you might be ready for a new relationship, or I think you might be ready to date again if you've not been dating for a while. I think that you've healed a lot, that you've come back to yourself a lot, that you have sort of like let go of the ways that you had to minimize yourself and had to reduce yourself and had to criticize yourself and play small in order to fit in this relationship. And as you walked away from that, you reclaimed your power. And you may have gone through this sort of shaky leg phase where you feel like a newborn deer who's like trying to learn how to walk again after a tough relationship. But that's just part of the process. And I think you'll look back on that phase fondly because you are now really coming into a sense of wholeness within yourself. And that is beautiful. So let me just get one final message to end things off here. Oh my God. So we have the world and the sun. Yeah, you are closing out a huge phase. This is like a graduation into a new way of being, a new way of life, and one that is really, really joyful. One that is really full of life and vitality and celebration. I see beautiful connections on the horizon for you. Oh my God, at the bottom of the deck is the Six of Wands too. So this is a card of celebration and victory. You are, if you don't feel this now, you are very much on your way to this. Very, very much on your way to experiences so joyful that I think you're going to kind of have to pinch yourself, because you're going to have relationships around you, people around you who truly treasure you, and people who truly see you and your beauty and your power and your joy, in your kindness. And I think that as you see that mirrored back at you, it's just going to continue to grow and grow and grow within you. And you're going to notice a lot of beautiful connections being magnetized to you because you're sort of emitting that energy of celebration and confidence, happiness. We have a lot of Leo energy here, and we have all of the fixed signs: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So that's all I have. This tower moment is over. Maybe you've gone through one recently where like one more significant thing had to break down in your life in order to free up that excess energy in order to help you heal. But know that this next chapter of life for you is a really gorgeous one. Okay. If this was helpful, please do like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, share it with someone if you think it might resonate with them. And I will be back soon with a new pick a card reading with more collective messages. And in the meantime, if you want to follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Feeling Loudly, you can find short form, quick readings. I post them like a few times each week at least, and specific ones for the signs. And if you're interested in more in-depth pick a card readings, I do post once, sometimes twice a month on my Patreon. And there's also a whole bunch of other cool perks on there for just starting at $6 a month. So you can find the link down below. Thank you so much and take care. Bye.